there are many, many questions as this French military operation is still ongoing.
Yeah, exactly. And the answers to those questions could have some really big implications. So, of course, as the package mentioned, it's suspected that those drones that went over the airport in Denmark could have come from that ship because it was sailing nearby. So we imagine that the ship is now being investigated for signs of those drones. Maybe the drones returned back to the ship. Maybe there's some sign of the launch equipment for the drones. If they do find that, the question is, how does the EU respond? Because there's going to be a close look at that Øresund Strait. So that's the strait that separates Denmark from Sweden, and it's where all of the maritime traffic to the Baltic Sea passes, and that includes to the Russian ports of Kaliningrad and St. Petersburg. And right now, there's it's an international waters. Any ship can sail through there if they want to. So there's talk, should the Øresund Strait be closed to international shipping? Should be harder for Russian or Russian-affiliated ships to sail through there? Should there be more checks? So it could get into very uncomfortable territory for a strait which has always historically been completely open.
And of course, this no doubt will be part of the discussion at the EU summit, which at the beginning of the day, of course, was looking at the idea of how to fend off Russia's hybrid war and talk of a drone wall.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a coincidence, actually, that this summit is happening exactly in Denmark, where all this drone activity has happened, even at Copenhagen Airport, where a lot of the leaders flew to today. Denmark is holding the rotating presidency of the EU Council, and that country always hosts a summit during the presidency. Tomorrow, they'll be joined by non-EU leaders, for instance, Keir Starmer, for the wider European Political Community Summit. Obviously, since they're in Copenhagen, they can't get away from this subject of drones because the drones are flying around Danish skies. And so this was a big topic of discussion today. They were only supposed to talk about defense issues this evening for 2 hours, but I heard that those talks dragged into 4 hours because so many leaders had so much to say. Did they make a lot of progress? Not really. There's still a lot of hesitation about this drone wall. Actually, France and Germany aren't very excited about this idea. They've both raised skepticism about whether it's really effective. Italy and Greece also sounding skeptical today. So right now we just have these 14 Eastern EU countries participating in that drone wall, Hungary at the last minute joining them. But the biggest opposition, or at least skepticism, seems to be coming from Western Europe.
Dave Keating, as always, thank you for your insight and analysis. Dave Keating, our Brussels correspondent. Great to see you, sir. Thank you very much indeed. That's it from me. We take a very short break after that. Of course, the news continues here on France 24.